Will the virtuous Sangha out of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức toàn thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh. Thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Namo Saranto Suchedo Ye Alahadi Samyao Sanputo Siet. Namo Tarakta Toya Daja Alahadi Tamil Dambo Da Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now I'm able to see and hear. I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng she wei miao fa bai jian wan jian an zao yi wo jin jian wen de shou chi yuan jie ru lai zhen shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Huineng, Venerable YongHua, Venerable Platform People, and all good advisors of Emituofo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa lục tổ, thượng tiên hóa quý thầy cô và quý vị tỷ trí thức A Di Đà Phật. Chư Phú Sa, Liêu Chủ Sư Phụ Sang Rần, Cơ Wei Chư Cha Rần, Cơ Wei Sang Chư Sư Emituofo. Hello everyone, today is the 9th of May 2021. We are gathered here to continue discussing the 6th Patriarch Sutra. On the last chapter, chapter 10, the final instructions from the great teacher to his eminent disciples. And that includes us, because you are eminent disciples of the Dharma ending age. It's not much, but that's all we have. Okay, enough joking aside. Slide 71, Sutra text. If you awaken, then speak accordingly, function accordingly, practice accordingly, and act accordingly, and you will not stray away from our fundamental doctrine.
汝等若悟，依此说，依此用，依此行，依此做，即不失本宗。
Okay, 72. If you awaken, awaken in Buddhism is very specific. Awaken here, you awaken from the dream. Okay, what dream? The dream of this life on this world. The world we live in, according to the Buddha, this life here is but a dream. Okay? Awaken to it. Awaken from it. Awaken to the fact that life is but a dream. Then awaken from it so that you put an end to all these falsehoods in our lives. Okay, it's a very strong statement. If you awaken from your stupor, you awaken from your confusion. Okay, that's why we're investigating the Buddhism, Mahayana. Because in order, Mahayana in particular has many more ways, many more powerful ways to help you awaken. Okay, whether it's gradually or very fast, by leap and bounds, that's possible as well. Okay, I don't know if you can sense it, but if the awakening usually starts with a gradual process, where by practicing Buddhism, whether it's through meditation, through reciting Buddha's name, and so forth, you awaken gradually. What is awakening gradually means? It means that you let go of your attachments. That's confusing you. Okay? Quite often, it's the obvious attachments that you refuse to let go. What comes to mind immediately is what? What are the attachments that you are dead set, you really believe in, and you refuse to let go no matter what? Unless you killed, you're not going to let go. What attachments are we talking about? Anyone? Okay, you see, you all awaken, so you have a hard time finding attachments to let go. Isn't that the case, or are you sleepy? Okay? Someone, help me out. What attachments do you have that to you it is not possible to let go? Yes, orange.
Mô Phật, cái chấp trước của chúng ta đó, Thầy đi một cái thói quen. Mình có cái thói quen, giống như người ta nói câu đó, cái mình chấp vô một cái. Chấp ghét cái này nó thành một cái thói quen. Muốn bỏ đó, bây giờ mình biết, mình nghe, hiểu nó là cái chấp trước. Theo mình là rất là khổ. Mình bỏ đó, cũng bỏ từ từ. Chứ không có bỏ một cái một đâu. Mô Phật.
Master, the attachment is your habit energy. Like for example, people say some sentence and then you grasp to it and then you make it become your habit. So if you want to let go of it, you need to let go slowly.
Very good. One thing that the key word she says that most ordinary people don't understand is something in Buddhism we call habit energies. Okay? We are all creatures of habit. Yes? In the morning we wake up, the Americans would like to have a cup of coffee. Yes? And then the Asians would like to have some tea and some porridge. Okay? And if you don't have a coffee, you don't have porridge, you'll be in a very bad mood. You say, how can you be my wife and you don't take care of me? Huh? You don't love me anymore, right? And what do Hispanics eat in the morning? Not tacos. Okay, that's all I know. Excuse me, it's my ignorance. Okay, so the Americans they need to have cereal and milk and muffins and so forth. If you're in college, you eat bagels and cream cheese and so forth. So without that, we demand that. Okay, that's part of the minimum. So these habit energies that we hang on to, okay, they are inviolable. We cannot do without them. Yes, okay. Because what happens if those needs are not satisfied, you get afflicted. Yes? You afflicted, it's called an outflow. You slept all night in order to recover, to repair your body and fill up your battery. And these habit energies are these if they are not fulfilled, you get afflicted and you drain your batteries a lot quicker than usual. Okay? And people won't pay attention to it. They say, no, that's who I am. Okay? That's what I'm about. Okay? And so those are so we hang on to our habits. I say, this is me. Okay? And you refuse to let go of these things. And that's why they are an unnecessary burden for you. And if they make it easy for you to have leakages, to have outflows, if you will. Yes, you too.
Vicki says family.
Family, absolutely. You worried about your 42-year-old son who's married, who has a family already. You still worry about them, don't you? You see? So your family is such a important part of your life that anyone that touches those taboo areas, those beliefs, then would be in bad shape with you. Okay, very good. So family is a huge habit energy. We worry about our families. YouTube, go ahead.
Vicki says her son is 34.
Sorry?
Vicki says her son is 34.
Oh, 34, excuse me. That's even worse. Yeah. 34, that's old enough to be able to take care of yourself. Anyone else? So you see, so these habit energies are very unnecessary exposures for ourselves. Okay? So you awaken to these weaknesses, if you will. Okay? You awaken to the unnecessary attachments. Okay? Okay. Now, at lower levels, you have, as this lady mentioned earlier, at low levels, you let go of these attachments gradually. Okay? However, if you have enough blessings, you're able to let go and leap. That's two ways to let go. You let go gradually, okay? Okay, like the old gentleman down there, I've been noticing he's been coming regularly now, every weekend now. I don't know he notices that. His kung fu has increased. I watched him for many years, okay? And I'm not sure he's aware of it, but he can recite his Buddha's name a lot better than before. Than 2 months ago, for example. 2-3 months ago, he's not as sharp as he is right now. And that's only possible because he has a lot more concentration. Okay? So that's what happens. You go to when you practice right, you will gradually be able to let go of these, if you forgive me, ridiculous attachments. They're totally unnecessary. Okay? They're not that important, and yet you still hang on. How about politics? I love it when I tickle people. I offend people talking about politics, especially Republicans. I love it. Republicans are so intransigent. They're inflexible. My way, the highway. So it's so easy to provoke them. Okay, and they're not even aware of it. Like the last weekend, I only touched about vaccine, and a Republican guy walked away from the Dharma talk immediately. He says, "What the hey? I came here, I drove a long way here, and for you to talk nonsense?" Okay? Instead of getting afflicted, you should ask yourself, why are you so afflicted? That's what Buddhism is about. Okay? If you get afflicted, you get angry. It's such a clear indication you have some real heavy attachments somewhere that's draining you. Okay? And that prevents you from making further progress. That's what Buddhism is about. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat. Notice that. Okay? But again, people nowadays are so polarized. It's funny to provoke. Too easy to provoke them. Okay. Okay. So you awaken to your attachments, which are absolutely ridiculous. What attachments? In particular, the gradual awakening. Okay. It's a natural evolution. Okay, it's a function of the environment. All right, you go to the proper place. Okay, to somewhere. Eventually, you will absorb. Okay, you will gradually either add more attachments or make your attachments stronger or let go of your attachments. So it's very, very easy to notice that. However, in Mahayana, we also have sudden awakening, where you let go of the whole class of attachments instead of smaller attachments. Okay, that's a difference. So that's why great teachers like Master Huineng is able to identify these classes of attachments, because these great teachers practice that way. They don't do it like us. Okay? They let go of the whole department. They fire the whole department, not just a few heads. All right? That's how you awaken. That's another aspect, if you will, of the difference between sudden awakening versus gradual awakening. All right? And then, after you awaken, then you speak accordingly. Okay? So, he's saying that, the great master is saying that when you awaken, then you speak accordingly. What is accordingly? According to your awakening. What is your awakening? What is according to your awakening? You awaken to the truth about yourself, about life. So you speak of your awareness. So you're supposed to share your awakening. Now keep it for yourself. Okay? You speak the truth. That's what you're supposed to do. Not elevate yourself and say, I'm so cool, I'm so special, I'm awakened. You know, you don't talk about that. You talk about the truth that you understand. That others who are still not awakened need to know, should know. Okay? Yes, Orange.
Giống bây giờ mình ở với một cái người mà nó chấp trước đó, rồi cái người mà không có chấp trước đó, hai người có nên mà ở chung nhau không thầy?
Supposingly, you have a lot of attachment and then you live together with a person that doesn't have any attachment. Do they get along? Should they live together?
Are we talking about you and your husband or what? Be more specific. Or is it between you and your son? Huh?
Mô Phật nói trong gia đình thì mình cũng dễ giải quyết được, mà cái ở người ngoài thôi. Mình nói về cái người ngoài.
You're living with strangers?
Mình tiếp xúc với một cái người đó là không, mình tiếp xúc với một cái người mà nó có chấp trước, rồi cái người không có chấp trước, hai người đó có ở gần nhau được không? Có tiếp xúc được không?
I don't know. It never happened to me. Okay. What do you think? Should we stick around, hang around people who are unenlightened? Then, yes, Kath.
Depends.
Depends.
Why I say depends if your faith or your, I forget what you guys call it.
What's in it for you, in other words?
Huh?
What's in it for you? It
No.
depends on what's in it for you.
No, what I'm saying is that, for example, if my faith is strong enough in God, I could be with other people who do not believe in God. If my faith is not that strong, then I have to be a little bit apart from it. Be with them, but apart from it.
You're pushing your God again. It depends. It's very simple. If it's to your benefit, stick around. If it's not beneficial, get rid of him. Divorce him. That's what Melinda Gates did. He says, I want to become a billionaire. I'm tired of having everything under your name and have to answer to you. Okay? So, yes, it's more beneficial for her in that case to get married, to get divorced. So it depends. Okay? But this speaking, yes, sir.
I just have a quick question because I'm very curious. In Buddhism, is it a sin for someone to divorce?
To what?
Someone? Like a sin to divorce someone?
Is it a sin to get divorced in Buddhism? Heck no! We need to make more babies. Remember, it's beneficial and it's a good thing to do. So if we get divorced, we can make more babies. Our quota is 4 babies per head. No, there's no such a prohibition, by the way. Okay? In Buddhism, it's not about divorce. Then you cannot divorce. Buddhism is about not harming someone. If the divorce is harmful to someone, we shouldn't. Okay? So we're not stuck on these marriage concepts. Okay? Yeah. All right. So speak. Someone else? Is there another question? No? Okay. So you speak accordingly, meaning you speak the truth. You speak according to what you really can see, can really understand, because it's your job. Okay? but you function accordingly. Okay, what is the difference between speaking and function accordingly, practice accordingly, and act accordingly? Okay, function accordingly is to do your jobs. You go to work, you function accordingly. Meaning what? Do your job according to the truth. Any problems with that? Okay. Function refers to use. What kind of use do you have as an individual in society? Okay? So you have to contribute according to the truth. Okay? According to your awakening. Okay? You practice accordingly. What is a practice accordingly? What's it? When you practice accordingly, meaning that now you awaken to the truth, then you should live accordingly. Practice here, do not be fooled by these big words that the Chinese love to use. 我修行, I cultivate, I practice. To me, it's a lot of hot air. Practice here means that you live accordingly. Practice is just to live. Okay? It's not a big deal. I really dislike it. I'm really unimpressed by the Chinese who keep going, I'm a practitioner, I'm a real cultivator. That's baloney. They still have a mark of cultivation. They still have a mark of practices. Okay? If you truly practice, you live accordingly. Can you see yourself practicing and not living? So when you practice, you don't live or what? You see it? Can you understand the difference? And those people who says, I cultivate, okay? Meaning there are times where they don't, right? I cultivate. I go to the temple to cultivate. Excuse me? So what do you do at home? What kind of cultivating are you? You only come to the temple to cultivate? But you at home, as our friend here said, at home you sin? Or what? Okay? Cultivation, when you rise above the mark of cultivation, you live. That's cultivation. Sing here, okay, is the practice. But the Chinese, they make a big deal out of it. Thank God we're not Chinese. Okay? And act accordingly. Act accordingly, meaning that what's the difference between acting, practicing, function? This great monk doesn't waste words. Yes, White, did you have a
Master,
something to say?
if we were able or possible to reach the attainment of emptiness, then how do we act accordingly in the Saha world?
How do you act accordingly? Okay? How do you act? What is acting? Acting here refers to creating karmas. Okay? So you create good karmas. be careful to act. When you act accordingly, meaning that you create good karmas for yourself and for society, for your family. Don't create bad karmas. Once you awaken to cause and effect. Nothing can be above cause and effect. Okay? And that's why when you act, when you create karmas, you create good karmas and you avoid creating bad karmas. Okay? So that's summarize it. You speak accordingly, meaning that this mouth here of yours and your brains, okay, has to be the same. Okay? You speak the truth. Your mind is awakened, therefore your mouth, okay, has to speak the truth. Stop lying. That's why my master is very, very blunt. He says, if you want to practice the Wei Yang way, don't lie. That's how you become enlightened a lot quicker. Is that clear? It's very simple. Don't lie. Refrain from lying. And that's how you're able to become awakened and see the truth a lot quicker. Just very simple rule of thumb. Don't lie, which I found myself struggling with that because when I first started, because you live out there, you have to lie. Yes? So what did I do? I ran away from him and went to his temple to make sure I didn't lie. Until they cornered me, now I had to lie. But the point here is that don't lie, okay? If you have wisdom, you don't feel the need to lie anymore. You speak the truth. We lie because we need to defend ourselves, protect ourselves. There's still an ego. That's why we're lying. Yes? Is that why you lie? Okay? So, speak the truth. Okay? Don't lie. Function accordingly. Okay? And you are here because you are employed, that you married because you have a role. Okay? You go to work, give your best. You go home, give your best to your wife or your husband, to your children. Okay? Function. What use are you? We use up the air and the water and electric vehicle, electricity, utilities, in order to be of some use. Yes? Be aware of that. This is a simple truth is that they must be of use of something for someone. And you see, when you awaken, you realize that you have to be useful. Okay? The truth about your existence is that you're here in order to be useful to someone. Not yourself, to someone. Okay? Practice accordingly. You live. You live accordingly so that you, can I add a little bit more in terms of living? To me, I want the color to add more, to make it more specific for you. You live accordingly. What for? You live in order to improve. Okay? Because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You improve and you become more awakened, and then you can speak better, you can function better, so that you can live better, and then you keep on improving. You see that? That's very Mahayana. It's never static in Mahayana. We don't retire. Okay? Contrary to popular beliefs. The real monks don't retire. The real cultivators don't ever retire because they have so much work to do. There's no time for retirement. You ever seen an enlightened monk retire? Never. Only unenlightened people want to retire to the Bahamas. Yes, you too.
Alta-D asks, should we praise the earth and say Namo Earth for everything it gives us? Or should we say Namo Saha world?
Should we pray to the earth?
No, should we praise the earth?
Praise the earth. Praise the Lord. Praise whoever. Function accordingly. If you're supposed to praise the Lord, praise the Lord. I go to a church, I praise the Lord. What's wrong with that? Okay? You function accordingly. You can go to church and praise the Buddha. What kind of person are you? When you come to my church, praise the Buddha. So that's why I go to yours. I praise to the Bodhisattvas, Mother Mary. Kidding, just kidding. Okay? So you practice accordingly, meaning that don't be stuck. Okay? Life, to me, is a lot of fun. It's really wonderful if you keep on improving. You know, this morning I stood up there on the floor and did the Pure Land ceremony, and the Wayno, who's been here 2 years now, she got it all. She knows what to do already. So it's first the incense sprays, nothing is wrong, and then followed by the Amitabha Sutra. She has a few mispronunciation, cannot pronounce she, okay, Shumi. He pronounces Sumi, Mount Sumeru. She pronounces Chinese is Xu Mi Shan. She pronounces Su Mi Shan. Yeah, whatever. So you see, so this woman has a few mistakes here and there, but otherwise she's got to figure it out. Really, she's got to figure it out. For Korean, it's not bad. But you know what? She's not practicing accordingly because she's not enlightened yet. She's not awakened yet. If she's awakened, she keep on improving, 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 and not be happy with what she's got. I wanted to make a comment this morning, but somehow too many questions, and we ran out of time. Okay, part of life is to keep on improving. Otherwise, what's the point in living? Seriously, huh? If you stop improving, might as well die. Go to the Pure Land. Huh? Why are you wasting your life here? Huh? Agree or disagree? I don't know. Your parents never told you that, huh? You're supposed to improve. You're supposed to become a better human being. Come on. That's what it means to be alive. Okay? So live accordingly and act accordingly. Create good karmas. Avoid creating bad karmas. And finally, what is to act accordingly and help others. To act accordingly means three things. Avoid doing bad, doing good only, and finally, help others. Because doing good and bad alone is not enough. You have to help others. Not just your family members. not just your 34-year-old son. Okay? Help others. Is that clear? Everything that we practice, whether it's doing chant, whether it's reciting Buddha's name, is in order to create good karmas, avoid bad karmas, and help others. That's us. Okay? Next, slide 72. And you will not stray from our fundamental doctrine. That's what this Chan school that Master Huineng was propagating, is that fundamentally this is what they do. What do? They manage to get awakened. Okay? The goal is to become awakened. This is consistent with the Buddha's teachings. Okay? But he spelled it out for us. He says, you should strive to become awakened. That's our goal. That's why we're doing all this. That's why we are here. Become awakened so that we can speak accordingly, we can function accordingly, we can practice accordingly, and we can act accordingly. Okay? To speak accordingly in order that is your contribution to the wisdom and knowledge of mankind. You have to speak. You have to educate others. You have to share your wisdom. That's why you have to speak accordingly. You have to function accordingly. You have to benefit. You have to do your job. You're hired to do something, give it your best. Don't question. You know, I don't know. They only pay me. You know, so much, and therefore I will put in 10 hours. No. Don't be so short-sighted. Okay? Function accordingly. Just give your all. Give your best. And when you get rewarded, you get rewarded. Yeah. The mere fact that you function accordingly, meaning you give your all, give your best, that is the reward already. Why do you need always to ask to be rewarded, to be recognized? You're so selfish, self-centered. Just function accordingly. Just give your all, give your best. Okay? That's part of wisdom. Practice accordingly. Okay? Keep improving. Don't just say, I want to give, and so forth. And that's what I have a problem with these individuals. He said, my job is to make more money. No, your job is to improve. Live to improve. Live to become a better person. Better daughter. A better mother. A better God forbid, Catholic. Okay? Just become better. All right? And act accordingly. All right? Create good karmas. Yes. Orange.
Hello. So I'm trying to become a better Catholic, but I find it very challenging. But that's me.
Yeah, it's challenging. That's why you're here. To look for answers. And may I suggest? Try Buddhism first. Okay. I thought I bring it up so that you cannot blame me. I speak accordingly. Okay? So fundamentally, this is what we stand for. Okay? We shoot for awakening from this this confusion, and then we act upon that. Okay? Next, 73, sutra text. If someone asks you about meaning and the question is about existence, answer with non-existence.
若有人问汝意，问有将无对。
All right, 74. So now the master, the great master, goes into specifics. Okay? And again, this is, you can take it at, he said it in particularly for his eminent disciples, but to me it applies to us as well. Okay? If someone asks you about meaning, and the question is about existence, answer with non-existence. Okay? I don't know why he's doing this. What do you think? Huh? He's asking about 有, meaning existence, meaning here refers to existence, okay? Being, okay? And you talk about non-being, non-existence. Why did he do that? Can we move on? I'm not sure. I think he's got somewhere. I don't want to make a fool of myself. I don't think it is a complete sentence. I know you're sitting there waiting for me to make a fool of myself. So many of you. Okay? Unless you have some insights. Okay? Next, 75, Sutra text. If you asked about non-existence, answer with existence. Asked about the common, answer with the sagely. Asked about the sagely, answer with the common.
问无将有对，问凡以圣对，问圣以凡对。
Okay. I should have been better prepared. I apologize. If you're asked about non-existence, answer with existence. Okay, it's just the opposite. Asked about the common, answer with the sagely. Asked about ordinary things, worldly things. Asked about holy or sagely things. Asked about the sagely, answer with the common. Okay, so you answer with the opposite. So far, so good? Good, we move on. 77, Sutra text. Since in each case the two principles are interdependent, the meaning of the middle way will arise between them. If you answer each question with an opposite, you will not stray from a principle.
二道相应，生中道义。如以问以对，于问依此作，即不失礼也。
Okay, this is difficult. Get help. This is when I need Master YongHua to come and possess me. Give me some wisdom. Help. Let's give him some time. Never rush the great teachers. Any questions or comments? You see, I'm buying time. Okay, so the master says, since in each case the two principles are interdependent, the meaning of the middle way will arise between them. Here's what he's saying. Okay, this is based on the concept of duality. Duality is a Buddhist concept, Mahayana concept, where this world here we live in is basically dual, meaning it's created by two opposites. Okay? The world has to be created by pairs of opposites. There's yin and there's yang. Okay? There is gain. Someone gains in stock market, meaning that some suckers are losing money in stock market. Those coins, for example. Okay? Cryptocurrencies and so forth. Okay? So far, so good? Huh? So you have the strong as opposed to the weak. Okay, you want to be stronger. Okay, we like to be stronger in order to help the weak. Without the weak, we don't want to be stronger. All right. So the opposites are interdependent. What the master says. Okay, that's Buddha's wisdom right here. Meaning that you need to look at both sides before you take a plunge. Okay? And the meaning and middle way will arise between them. Okay? Meaning, what's the meaning of the way will arise between them? If you're aware of the fact that life is made of diametrically opposite pairs, okay, then the world is created like that. Then life, to live, okay, to live properly, to live with wisdom, okay, is to be able to accommodate both extremes. That is called the middle way. Any questions or comments? This is words of wisdom. Okay? The middle way in Buddhism is the middle road. Okay? It's in the middle somewhere. Okay? What does it mean, middle somewhere? Exactly what it means. It's somewhere in the middle. We don't know where it is. It's somewhere in the middle. It's not the opposite. It's not the extremes. Okay? Meaning that you stray from this side to the other, like you drive on the freeway. Okay? Okay? You go, you float, you veer to the left, you veer to the right when it's necessary. Driving to me on the freeway 5 is that way, is the middle way. Okay? Because you would stick to the right-hand side, eventually you get too close to a truck driver, okay, who's sleepy. And that's when I taught my disciples, when you see a truck is veering a little bit like this, you move away as far from him as possible, and you speed up. Okay? So the middle way is to be able to adjust and not be stuck on anything. Is it a fair definition of middle way or not? You guys looking for something really philosophical, very profound? No, it's very practical. Okay? Jewel Mountain.
Jewel Mountain asks, does this mean to embrace opposites of our own, or others, or both?
It means that don't be stuck on anything. That's called the middle way. If you have good and evil, if you're stuck on evil, you're in trouble. You're stuck on good, you're also in trouble. Why is being stuck in evil will bring you trouble? Obviously, if all you do is create evil karmas, bad karmas, the retribution will come back and harm you very quickly. Okay? Try to harm the Buddha. Try to harm the sages. You find out that the retribution comes very, very quickly. All right? So don't be stuck on evil. Don't be stuck on good either. Personally, I find no one else more boring than a good person. A very good person. Agree or disagree? They kill me. Good people say, I'm a good person. Oh, please. Grow up, man. Yes, sir. Orange.
There's no such a thing as someone being a good person or a bad person.
What? What kind of nonsense are you talking about? There's no good or bad? So God is bad or good?
No, you misunderstood. I'm saying that God is good, of course. But what I'm saying is that...
No, that's not... can we go back to God, please? Okay. Is God good or bad?
Good.
So he doesn't count?
He doesn't what?
He doesn't count? What, you need translation now?
Translation.
I get offended by that. I'm the one who needs translation, not you. Go ahead. Huh?
No, I'm saying that I think that
try to get out of this mess. God is not a good person.
God is not a person. He's a God. So God is good.
What about Jesus? Is Jesus a good person?
God is good. So
wait. Can we go to Jesus, please?
Yes.
Is Jesus a good person or bad person?
God is full human, is a full person, and fully God. So
you don't believe
God
in
is
Jesus?
Good. Yes, I do.
Now answer me. Is Jesus a good person?
But he's not a person. He's God. So he's good.
Jesus is not God, my friend. They're two different people.
No. We believe in the Trinity. It's the Yahweh, which is the Father, the Son, which is Emmanuel or Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit as one God.
You're a lot more confused than I thought. Just kidding. Okay. I would like to think my master is evil. Okay. So anyway, so you see, you don't want to be, the extremes. You don't want to be always the extremes, as you will. So the middle way is somewhere between the two extremes in everything. All right? Q&A.
Master, what's the bad side of enlightenment?
What the bad side of enlightenment?
Yeah.
Enlightenment.
No, what's bad? What's bad about enlightenment?
Having to deal with unenlightened people. Because if you remember, the great master says, remember he says, if you are enlightened, then you have to start speaking, functioning, practicing, and acting. It's a lot of work. See, you who are not awakened, you say, I don't care. It's not my problem. But if you're really a follower of Master Huineng's teachings, and you are enlightened very quickly because of that, then after that, you think you will get off that easy? No. You cannot move to the Bahamas, okay? and put your feet up and lay all day in a hammock and sip Corona. Okay? You have to speak, you have to function, you have to practice, you have to live. Okay? It's not clear to you?
But then, even if you're enlightened, you still have to do all that, and then probably with more suffering, right?
Are you looking for a way not to do anything after you become enlightened? Then what's the point in becoming enlightened if you're going to do nothing after you become enlightened? All that work for nothing.
No, I'm just saying that, yes, you have to do all that after getting enlightened, but then unenlightened beings still need to do all that.
You
And
need
with
to
less
speak
wisdom.
more convincingly, speak with more conviction. And yes, you need to become enlightened.
No, I think just I just think that it's probably just I'm not there yet, but it's hard for me to really think some things are too good. Like I have too much of some things are desirable than other things. Yeah.
Repeat that, the last sentence. I have too much of something undesirable. Really?
I think it's just I was just saying that I would hope something that's more desirable than others, like enlightenment versus unenlightenment, or good things happening to my children versus bad things happening to them, so on and so forth.
What's so enlightening about that? Something happened, good happened to your children. Is that enlightened state? Help her out here. This woman is confused.
I am, and I just woke up too. So.
Okay, Riddler. Black.
Thank you, Master. I'd like to start by saying also Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Beat me to it again.
And in an effort to help my Dharma sister in San Jose, thank you for loving your children and supporting us, no matter how stupid or idiot we are in our lives. We couldn't do it without your support. But Master, I really like the concept of the opposites, the sagely and the common, and how you compared it perhaps with the stock market. Maybe the sagely is the upper resistance, and the common is the support, and the middle way is kind of like a standard moving average, going up or down on any given day, depending on how it's according with conditions.
Someone shoot him down. Why do you have to be the bad guy all the time? Yes, what color? Orange.
Namo Emituofo. I think the lady was saying that she finds it way more interesting and maybe more important, enlightening, to see her children happy, to see good things happen to her children, to respond to that. Not the other thing, to second response. Well, I remember one time, long time ago,
Where do you learn that from?
I act according to whatever it is. learn from whatever that was. I remember a long time ago, Master said, maybe a year ago, regarding love of children and love of mother. I think Master once said it was selfish love. The love of your children or the love of your mother. And you still find so happy about this thing, seeing, loving your children happy. It's way better than enlightenment because we are still in confusion because we don't understand that. That's why Buddha said we are suffering. And we think we're very happy and everything is so great because we are confused.
Go back to where you came from.
I am where I come from, Master.
I'm sorry. I talk like that. But why do you have to love your children? First of all, the sixth patriarch didn't say. Did he say that we have to love our children? No. Yes, Orange.
Cái người mà đắc giác ngộ đó thì nó làm những cái công chuyện rất là lớn ở trên xã hội, ở trong nhà Phật nữa thầy. Theo con nghĩ như vậy đó, mô Phật.
These spies are killing me.
Master, I think the one that's already awakened, they will do the big thing for the society.
So many prejudices, so much pressure on the enlightened people that you don't want to become enlightened. You have to do big things now. God, what about small things? Can't we do small things after we become enlightened? Huh? Okay, listen. YouTube, go ahead.
Vicki says, thank you, Peter, for the well wishes. Getting back to my San Jose Dharma sister, I think she is worried about the responsibility of becoming enlightened, what may or may not happen for her children.
I don't know how to answer that. Q&A, go ahead.
Master, I'm thinking that maybe when you become enlightenment, then you have more wisdom and you become more accepting. Then you will not be as suffering, have much suffer, but you feel for other and you find a way to help them out.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Does it mean that you wish your children to be happy?
Is it for me or
Yes,
my
for you.
own Dharma sister?
No, the other sister, I gave up on her.
For me, I am not enlightened, so I don't know. But currently, I do want the children to be happy and do the right thing, so they can contribute to society.
Thank you, Lord. I rest my case. Did you hear the answer? Did you hear my answer? Huh? If you wish your children to be happy, you are not enlightened, is my answer. What's so wise about wishing your children to be happy and only good things happen to them? Good Lord, how are they going to learn if only good things happen to them? Huh? I'm of the opposite camp. I wish bad things to happen to my disciples. I don't want them to be happy. What's wrong with these San Jose people? They're all unenlightened. You can see that, right? When they wish, I want good things only for my family, for my children, for myself, for my husband, and so forth. What about the bad things? They're extreme, these Northern Californians. We are more balanced, aren't we? We want good things and bad things. That's what the middle way is about. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Can you always ask for sunny days only? No rain? Is it possible? we turn to a desert. Is that what you want? Okay, defend yourself, Q&A.
So if have the your disciples fail and suffer, and then so they can learn, that's still a good thing, right? So you still want good things for them. That's just how you define it. It's different.
No. Answer her, please. You want people to fail is a good thing? What kind of nonsense is this? When you fail, it's a very bad thing. That's why you fail. You say fail. You call getting an F a good thing? F is failure. F is...
So maybe it's... so you don't want your disciples to fail and not learning anything, right? That's like, what's good about that?
Did you hear the same thing I just heard? That you don't want your disciples, your children to fail? What kind of mother are you? These Chinese are so weird. Someone give me some, speak some sense for these people. Huh? Senor.
I think it's just to let it go and see how your children do. And pray for them.
Okay.
Let the children go, and then in life, and maybe they have to make their own mistakes to suffer and grow from it. If they don't grow from it, that's it. That's their problem.
I don't know what he just said. I have no time for translation. Yes, sir. Black.
Thank you, Master. I think what we're describing is the reason I'm so thankful for all mothers on Mother's Day. They have to be strong enough to know that their child is going to fall off the bicycle, hurt themselves, cry, and then buy the bicycle for them anyways. That takes a lot of strength that I can't even comprehend how they do.
Because you're not a mother, my friend. Stop pretending that you understand. We don't understand what mothers are like. Oh, good Lord. And thank you for mothers. Yes, sir.
Completely agree, Master. But I can say that being in the position to be supported and get back up on the bicycle was the only way I could find that within myself I knew I improved, that no one else told me. And the feeling of that improvement and growth was profound.
Okay, folks, you're thinking too much. This is what the problem you have. You're thinking way too much. I only want good things to happen to my children. And some mothers say, I only want a bad thing to happen to my disciples. These people are extremes. Don't you think? They're crazy people. Agree, disagree? I mean, and it's so sad that you have a mother say, oh, I want only good things for my children. Oh, my babies, I love them to death. Or some sicko says, I want only bad things to happen to my students. What a sick person. Yes, you too.
Vicki says, Master, for myself, my kids, I want them to experience life to the fullest and for them to learn from their experiences.
And why do you keep on bugging me every time your son has something bad happens to him or your daughter has an accident or something? Let them die. You guys are talking. But as soon as something happens, you say, I want my son to learn. I want my daughter to learn. Have a full life and experiences all the good ups and downs of life and so forth. That's how they learn. That's how they get wiser. And then as soon as anything happens, they just cut themselves with the kitchen knives. Oh my God, master, make sure they don't die, they don't get infected. You are talk. Anyone? My point here is that what I'm hearing you is that you're thinking too much. You're processing too much. When you hear someone that, someone says, I want only good things about happen to my children. You say, because you know it's good. You want good things only. So you bias towards good things. And there's some sickos who say, I want bad things to happen to some group of people. That person is sick. Stay away from him. Okay? It's not the middle way. What is the middle way? Middle way is that stop processing. Don't ask for good, don't ask for bad. That's called the middle way. If it happens, it's good, it's good. But it turns out if what you think is good actually is bad to someone else. You realize that? Agree? There's some sickos, so look at it. Look, it's only good thing happens here. Oh my God, that's terrible. See that? And you angels look at these bad things happening to all these poor suckers. You say, oh my God, look at these poor suckers. They are so stupid. They're following this cult. You see that? You're processing too much. It's not a middle way. The middle way is not what the name tells you. The middle way is that stop processing. Don't insist on this or that. Whatever happens, happens. There's no way that you as a mother can ensure only good things happen to your children, to your family. That's not possible. Or for you to wish only bad things happen to your children. It's not possible either. Okay? Good and bad, okay, that the patriarch is talking about is for confused people. They form an attachment to good, they form an attachment to bad. So the middle way is don't form attachments. It's somewhere in the middle, okay? That's the meaning of middle way is don't be attached to results. This is such an interesting misconception about Buddhism that I keep on hearing from the monks themselves. They say, let's do good karma so that only good things happen to you. It's not possible. You can do good all your life and still bad things still happen to you. Yes, Daniel.
Is it not better for you to have more tests in order to improve yourself rather than only expecting only good?
To have a test?
No, to face challenges in life. Like in my own experience is that when I have challenges in life, that's when I grow or when I become better. So I learn not to expect good things or bad things. I just expect to follow life as it is and expect the unexpected.
Expect the unexpected.
The unexpected.
So you still expect something.
Not expecting anything. That's what I'm saying. Expect unexpected, just not expect anything. It's
How can
cancel
you
each
expect
other.
anything? You don't expect anything if you expect the unexpected. Explain that to me. It's too Catholic for me.
Can I help him? I think he's saying that the only thing that doesn't change is impermanence. That's what he's saying.
The only thing that doesn't change is impermanence. Sounds very permanent to me. You see what I'm doing? I'm giving you the opposite. That's what the Master is teaching. Because this teaching is not about right and wrong. You get it now? It's not about right and wrong. It's not that important, whether it's good or bad. It's about if people insist on good things, the first thing you do is, hey, have you thought about bad things? Only. To point out to them that the attachment is nonsense. It's not possible. That's what this is about to me. He's not teaching us to reach for the sage in the common and so forth and distinguish them. No, he said it's about helping people awaken to their attachments. Some people are attached to pain and suffering. Okay? And some people are attached to only good things. And basically, when you talk to these people, in order to help them restore balance and awaken them, talk about the opposite. Say, have you thought about becoming a Democrat to a Republican? Or Buddhist to a Catholic? You see that? I've been doing that. It hasn't worked yet. But, you see the point? The point is, point out to them their attachments. Because deep down, do we really care if we are Republican or Democrats or Buddhist or Catholic or whatever? It's only a word. It doesn't mean anything. Words are just words. A lot of people call themselves Buddhists, but they behave like a Catholic. Yuck. It's horrible. You know? And some Catholics call themselves Catholic, but they come to temples and learn about Buddhism all the time. Yes, you too.
Hasim asks, how come when one does good things continually, bad things still happen to them? What would be the reason?
The reason is that they are trying to con you. Okay? And those people say, I only do good things and somehow bad things happen to me. It's not true. They are doing good things in front of you and bad things behind our backs. And that's why bad things happen to them. That's the only way. Do you realize that? Okay? So that's a secret. I've been chuckling when people say, how come I do good things and bad things do happen to me? I said, no, you're not doing good things. Yes, sir.
I have some clients that used to say to me, I don't know why I'm here in this area, or I don't know why bad things happen to me. And I was like, so what happened to you? What brought you here? Mm-hmm. Oh, I went to jail because I was selling drugs.
Yeah. My answer is, bad boy. Okay? Yeah. So it's funny because people are so locked in. Okay, so adamant. That's why the Patriarch says, when you meet these people, help them, awaken them. You say, don't be so stuck on that good things happening to your children. That's not necessarily good for them. Sometimes bad things that happen to your children actually are more beneficial than good things happening to them. Right? Especially the Chinese. You know, they have so many anecdotes about bad things happening to them, and eventually it turns out to be a blessing in disguise. Right? So that's all it means. So when he says, then and the meaning of the middle way will arise between them. Okay, and this is very, very literary, very eloquent way of describing it. But it only means that, bluntly, plainly speaking, the middle way is basically don't be attached. That's what the middle way is. So to bring up the opposite pair is to help awaken them to the fact that they are biased. That's all. Does it help? Okay, because another concept is very important, 相因. Okay, the opposites are interdependent, meaning that the good things are actually have bad things containing them. The good things arise because of the bad things. And because you have good things, bad things will arise. You cannot avoid it. That's a very important concept. Okay? Only the weak insist. I don't mean to insult anyone. Only the weak insist that bad things happen to someone else. Okay? Or good thing happens because they cannot handle the opposite. That's all it means. Does it help? Yes.
Master, can you give us a concrete example of like when good things happen to you, then bad things also happen coming up later on? Thank you.
I can gladly give you many examples. What's good happens to me? They give me very good Italian chocolate. And bad thing happened to me, I gain weight. Immediately. And it's not funny. In my age, it goes up and down that quickly. Is that okay? You want more examples?
Yes, I would like to get 2 more examples. Given that we are celebrating Mother's Love today, so can you give an example if something bad happened something very good happened to a child, but then that means something not so good happened later on. Also another example, how something very beautiful happened to my lovely mother, our lovely mothers. What would that later on would signify? Thank you.
I don't know about the good thing happening to our lovely mothers. It sounds like a trap to me. Lovely girlfriends, yeah, but mothers? Yes, White.
As an example, I was going to say Master, how about the poor Chinese farmer whose son broke his leg, and the neighbor said, "Oh, such a terrible happening."
What a tragedy.
And the poor farmer said, "Oh, hard to say." And the next day, the army marched in and passed over inscripting his son because his son had a broken leg.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That actually happened to me in Vietnam. Just kidding. Okay, very good. Okay, you got that? You got the point here is that when you listen to people and you notice, you pay attention to where they have a penchant for certain things, and if you want to help them, then remind them of the opposite. They eventually will balance out. Their viewpoints, their thinking will balance out. It's because you keep on thinking one way, okay, you're stuck. You dig yourself a bigger hole, that's all. So the job of the middle way is to help you realize that it's nothing called middle at all. The middle way means that don't be stuck on anywhere. This is a misconception about Mahayana that we Buddhists didn't do a good job explaining to you. When I first started 15 years ago at Lu Mountain Temple, I tried to explain to you middle way by saying middle way varies depends on the person. For someone, okay, who's heavier, the middle way might be somewhere near the belly. For someone who's more muscular, the middle way is much little bit higher. You know, so there is no middle way. Okay, it varies from person to person. That's a Hinayana understanding. The real true meaning of middle way is that don't process. Does it make sense? This is in honor of the sixth patriarch. That's what he's talking about. It's not about knowledge at all. It's about don't be attached. Don't be so attached to good. Don't be so attached to bad. Don't be so attached to chocolate. What's the opposite? I don't know. I think chocolate by itself is unique. It's no possible opposites. Yes, anyone who is, yes, give black.
Thank you, Master. Contemplating your comment earlier, my takeaway to have less processing could be to register as an independent and remove my attachment to party politics. Only be focused on the larger decisions and save myself a lot of processing when it comes to, even though California voted 70% for Bernie Sanders, somehow the rest of the country decided that Joe Biden would be a better choice. And I say this on behalf of my Dharma sister, Vicki, who's listening at home and may have a similar question. Thank you.
Yes, you may. Okay, next. Yes, orange.
Sir, we automatically, at least most of us, automatically would process everything we see. So in action, how do we not process? Can you instruct us on that?
You can't. Basically, we are so locked in. I remember with one of our disciples, he's very Republican. And it took me months to point it out to him, at the risk of biting my head off. For some reason, Republicans are very violent. It's funny because every time I say, how far can I push this guy? And every week, I can still push farther. It's so funny. And eventually, he woke up and said, "Oh my God, I fell into his trap." Okay? You can't. Sometimes we are so engaged. I'll give you an example. For most of us, we're so attached to our mothers. Yes or no? You know what I mean? Huh? We're so attached to our mothers. And sometimes, look at our wife as our mothers, second mother. Just kidding. No, someone shook his head. I'm kidding. So, it's because the bond we have has been built up over our entire lives. Normally, the mother and child relationship gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay? Because we disappoint our lives, try to replace her. But she's not the same. Or our, someone wants, I'm touching a nerve. Yes. Orange.
Mô Phật. Tại vì mình chấp vô người mẹ mình á, mình nghĩ lên đó thì cũng tội lắm. Có một cái gia đình con cái đồ rất là nhiều, rồi nhiều khi con cái đó không có nghe lời, rồi đó làm cho mẹ mình đó bực mình, rồi nhiều khi đó mẹ mình đó muốn dạy mình mà không có dạy một cái câu mà để hòa hợp, không có dạy một câu mà giải thích từ không có giải thích để cho con mình nghe lọt vô tai, mà nhiều khi mẹ mình dạy mình đó là sân si rồi này kia. Chứ bây giờ bà làm công chuyện cái mình ấy, cái bà làm mệt quá cái bà la, trời ơi mấy người tôi làm mệt muốn chết, không có ai lại phụ tôi á, trên la cái người ta mới bước vô người ta nghe cái người ta bực mình rồi. Là cái đó một cái là mình cũng chấp vô ấy. Rồi đó giống mẹ Quả Ngân vậy đó, nhiều khi con cái đồ cũng rất là đông mà rất là mệt mỏi cho bả, giờ nghèo, gia đình là nghèo nữa, rồi nhiều khi đó bả sân si, bả la lối đồ này kia, cái tụi con không có thích đó. Rồi không có thích rồi làm sao, rồi đối với bả có mặc cảm, xong á rồi đợi tới bây giờ mẹ mình qua đời đó là câu nào câu nấy là cũng có chân lý để dạy mình hết, mà dạy mình á không phải là dạy một cách hiền hòa, dạy một cách lục hòa, dạy một cách sân si, nó như vậy đó. Rồi giống mình ở Việt Nam vậy đó, mẹ mình giờ chửi con cái rồi chửi cái rất là thô tục, chứ không có chửi một cách mà ôn hòa, phải không? Rồi bây giờ mình qua tới Mỹ này đó, mình có con này, mình không có dám nói con mạnh nặng một lời nào ở trên á, cứ vuốt ve con mình hoài thôi, mà nó còn không mấy giờ đồng ý nữa. Mô Phật. Tại vì Quả Ngân có một cái gia đình vậy đó, Quả Ngân biết như vậy. Mô Phật.
Master, when talking about attachment to mother, we usually feel sorry for a mother who has a lot of children in the family, but none of the children listen to her. So a lot of times she will get angry, and then she wants to teach her children, but she couldn't find any words to explain, so she get angry to the children. So, for example, my mom, we have a very big family, and then we were very poor. My mom, most of the time, she will be tired and she get angry. She tried to teach them, but we disagree with her. But now, thinking back, she already passed away, and then I think back to all of the things she taught. It's a very true principle, but the way she taught us was when she was angry. She used harsh word, not like nowadays, like parents didn't dare to say harsh word to the children, but they always have to use nice word, and then yet still the children still didn't agree with them.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you. I do. Good luck to you. The question is about, the topic we're talking about is how can we avoid getting trapped on these extremes? And my answer is you can't. Okay? It's not possible because it's not always possible. In particular, if you're not a Buddha, that's not possible. Okay? So how do you avoid? You avoid it by, this is why in Mahayana we have this process, this Dharma door called Great Assembly. We have a lot of people getting together, okay, from different backgrounds, different beliefs, different ethnicities. Because in this group here together, okay, some are not even Buddhists, we still tolerate them, okay, for now. The point here is that when you have this great assembly Dharma here, this is the best environment to help us recognize our prejudices. Prejudices is very hard to undo. You prejudice against Democrats, you prejudice against Republicans, you prejudice against Asians, you prejudice against black people, white people. It's very hard to undo. It's very hard to see. And that's why from putting a bunch of different people, different beliefs together, okay, in this mess here, this is how we are much better, have much better exposure to our own prejudices. Whereas if you sit in a Hinayana persuasion, you sit in a mountain, you sit somewhere in a valley, you sit somewhere behind the four walls, you are not interacting with anyone. So these prejudices are still there. You cannot see them. All right? So anyway, so let's move on. Next. Sutra text. Suppose one asks, what is darkness? You should answer, brightness is the cause, and darkness is the condition.
设有人问，何名为暗？答云：明是因，暗是缘。
All right. So he went a little bit further. Remember, so far he says, you use opposites. Okay? When someone asks you say something, use the opposite to answer them. What? In the sense that, have you considered, in the spirit, have you considered, if you want good things to happen to your children, have you considered that sometimes bad things that happen to your children are also beneficial? Don't call them stupid. Just say, point out to them. Okay? There's no need to look for, to wish for only good things. Bad things are sometimes beneficial. Okay? That's not deprive our children of that. Okay? I find, for example, my children, my disciples, not my children, when they're exposed to hardships, okay, they rise to the occasion. When they're sheltered, okay, they become weaklings. They feel entitled. I'm entitled to that. Okay? So that's a concept. Remind them the good thing cannot exist without the bad things. The bad things do not exist without the good things. They're mutually contained. The good things have the seeds of the bad things in the future. The bad things actually have the seeds of the good things in the future. So you cannot really separate them. Just like you point an arrow into the sky, and you shoot the arrow into the sky. You're ascending. The ascension right there of the arrow has the conditions for it to fall. You cannot avoid it. It cannot go up without falling. Okay? That's why he's talking about. The middle way is that don't be stuck on either way. Okay? He further says, furthermore, give you another example. If someone asks you about darkness, then you explain the opposite. It says, brightness is a cause and darkness is the condition. Now he brings in wisdom into the equation. Everything, these opposites, are there because of cause and condition. Given the right cause, you have the proper results. That's all. So far, so good? Next, 81, Sutra text. When there is no brightness, there is darkness. Brightness reveals darkness, and darkness reveals brightness. Since opposites are interdependent, the principle of the middle way is established.
明末既暗，以明显暗，以暗显明，来去相应，成中道义。
Okay, the great master further explains it to his disciples with the Buddhist logic. He says, when there is no brightness, there is darkness. And therefore, brightness reveals darkness, and vice versa, darkness reveals brightness. Since opposites are interdependent, the principle of middle ways is established. Okay? So he brought in the concept of cause and conditions. Everything in this world came about because of cause and condition. Everything, anything, all right, is exempt from that. Okay? And that is called the middle way. Furthermore, 83, text. Answer every question that way, and in the future, when you transmit the Dharma, transmit it in the way I'm instructing you. Then you should not stray from tradition or our school.
余问悉皆如此，汝等于后传法，依此转向教授，勿失宗旨。
All right. Commentary. So he says, I gave you detailed instructions, okay? And I summarize for you, okay? When someone is prejudiced a certain way, bring up the opposite to remind them that they are biased. And bring in cause and conditions, okay? Opposite exists because of cause and conditions. It's that simple. That's how we transmit the Dharma. That's how you transmit the Dharma to them. Okay? And this is extremely useful for his disciples, which doesn't speak that highly about the level of his disciples. If he has to go down this way, this level, then his disciples, those eminent disciples, okay, are not very good Dharma masters. Okay? Agree or disagree? So he says, I'm giving you this tradition of our school, my school, of the Chan school is this is how you teach Chan. Okay, and it's only to me. It's only because these monks are too green. They don't know how to teach people, how to explain to people, and that's seems to be the case of what happens typically in Buddhism, where you have these great famous monks. They're so wise, they're so famous that their students, the heirs, the Dharma heirs, don't have the chance to be trained properly until they are sent away. All right? And the tradition, I brought the point here, the tradition of his school is the tradition of sudden enlightenment. This is how he taught sudden enlightenment, by bringing out the opposites. Why is it called sudden enlightenment? Because it's brutal. It's not pleasant. When you love your children so much, you want good things happen to them, and you say, what an idiot you are. What about bad things? Okay? So the sudden enlightenment here is to point out things that are shocking to you, the other extremes. You don't get it. It's okay. Next. YouTube question.
There's a request from Tian Guo. Master, as we approach the end of 6th Patriarch Sutra, may I put in request for Master to explain 地藏十住十轮经 and 善恶业观察经. Master YongHua and Meng Can explained 善恶经. Emituofo.
I don't know the sutras. And we take it under advisement, but it sounds like it's not interesting sutras at all. Yes, black.
Thank you, Master. My takeaway from the instructions of the 6th Patriarch is that this is the way I would describe it is a train the trainer instruction. It's clearly not for someone like me who's a student. So it's way above my head. But my understanding of what you're describing is, as a person who cultivates, I'm likely to ping-pong between the sagely and the common, and sudden enlightenment would be an extreme breakthrough into the sagely to a level that is above that. That's my takeaway. Thank you, Master.
Not really. It's not the way you think. It's not that way at all. But don't worry about it. It's not for enlightened teachers at all, even, because I find this useful in your daily lives. That's why we spend time explaining to you. We will find very often, quite often, situations where you face your spouses, your colleagues, your relatives, where they're very biased. Okay, and in those situations, don't look at yourself as a teacher. You're not a teacher. You're not the teachers. But you can help them by pointing out the opposites. And to me, it would be very helpful, because I remember in my prior life where I have these prejudices, and I wish that people would point them out to me, to help me avoid the extremes of behaviors, extremes of beliefs that are harmful. Okay, I have a hard time, specifically speaking. For a while, I enjoy the Fox News, but later, as the past 4.5 years, I noticed that they make their money on provoking and going for the extremes. Okay. And that's not helpful. You watch them, you only see one side of the story. You never hear the opposite. Or the other guys, MSNBC, is total liberal. For them, anything goes. Total chaos. Okay? So you see, these extremes are not helpful at all. And so when you point out to people, it helps people realize that there is a middle way somewhere. There's a balance somewhere that's more beneficial for everyone. Okay, to me, it's very scary to see more and more people becoming so intransigent, inflexible. Okay, they insist on their ways, whether they're liberals or they are radicals. It's the same thing. It's not the middle way. It's not beneficial. You're being destructive. Okay, and part of the thing that you pay attention to for these people is they dismiss you. And that's destruction right there. If they dismiss you, they are destroying you, your viewpoints, your legacy, your contribution. Okay? It's just like, you just say, I want to kill all the snakes in the world. You kill all the snakes in the world, then the rats' population will explode. The snakes feed on the rats. So that's why they're there. Okay? Things happen in this world because of cause and effect. You don't want to mess with it. That's wisdom. Okay? And this is, to me, this is why this, especially this Dharmic ending age, we need Buddhism so badly. This is why all of you, should learn what this great teacher taught us here the last couple of weekends. Talk to people by pointing out the opposite pair to help restore balance in their thinking, in their beliefs. And sometimes you have to be brutal. Sometimes they're so Republican, we have to be so democratic. Sometimes they're so dickish. That we have to be the same. But what you have to appreciate about Buddhism, what I appreciate about this Buddhist teaching is that it's about balance. It's about respecting differences, embracing differences, That's wisdom. You awaken to the differences if in the world. The world exists because of differences, built-in differences. If you go one extreme or the other, okay, you're being destructive. Yes, sir.
I follow a priest on YouTube, and he said something that actually reminded me about this talk. He said that if you have to lose your soul to save children for abortion, and you're going to lose your soul because of it, don't do it.
You lose your soul because of the abortion.
Because you are so all the way to the extreme.
Yes.
So you're gonna lose your, and then if that causes you to lose your soul because of it,
Yeah.
like doing harms to other people,
Yeah.
then don't do it.
Then don't do it. What is soul? Be careful. What is soul?
What is soul?
Yes.
Soul is your soul. I don't know how to explain it.
Then don't talk about it. You see, you are an opinion leader in society. I mean, you help people. People look up to you. You have to be careful about what you talk about. You cannot talk about things that are mere concepts. They're unproven. What is soul? Soul is the commoner's confusion. There's no such a thing as a soul. How can you lose your soul? You don't have it. Okay? There's no such a thing as soul at all. Soul, I challenge you to demonstrate to me there's something called soul, and that that weighs so much, it looks this certain colors and so forth. There's no such a thing. How can you possibly lose it? Yes, orange.
Mô Phật, cái linh hồn đó thì tùy theo mỗi một người, mỗi một cái ngôn ngữ nó khác nhau. Thì đạo Phật mình nói là một cái Phật tánh. Rồi có người Tàu thầy nói một cái gì? Cũng có một cái câu để nói nữa. Rồi người Việt cũng có một câu để nói nữa. Rồi đó ở trong đạo Phật nói có cái Phật tánh. Rồi không biết cái nào là đúng, cái nào sai mình cũng không biết. Cái tùy theo mà cái người cái mỗi con người mà mỗi cái gì?
He says it depends. It depends who. You Buddhists, you have different kind of concept of soul. Those people, they have their own concept of soul. Give him the mic. I'm running out of time.
So sorry, I think when I say lose your soul, it just means that you go to hell.
You couldn't help.
No, you go to hell, the hells.
You go to hell.
Yes.
Go
That's what
to
I mean by
hell.
losing soul, sorry.
To go to hell doesn't mean you're losing your soul. You just go to hell. Like you move to the Bahamas.
But it's a saying, doesn't mean that the soul is indestructible. It's just that you just go to the hells. That's what the phrase means when I say you lose your soul.
You lose your soul. Why don't you say go to the hells?
I don't know. It's just
why
how...
do you keep confusing your own kind? For us, we say you go to the hells, and then we beat you up, we torture you,
I don't know. For me, it was self-explanatory.
we make you suffer, and we love it. It's very precise in Buddhism. Okay? See, this is why we're trying to demystify Buddhism, because it's a lot of nonsense people are talking about, and that's subject to misinterpretations, which are not helpful. Okay, we passed this section of opposites. Okay, Thank you all for your patience and your participation. We stop here today.